You got to say bang, bang, Brian.
Bang, bang.
Chuck did it on the first episode, so we've done it forever. All this stuff is stuff we made up on the first episode and just keep repeating. None of it makes any sense or has any real history.
What have you seen lately?
Oh, we were talking about earlier about the Roadhouse. Shit, I have not been keeping my letterbox log like I thought I would do.
Well, I saw the Michael Jackson movie.
Oh no.
My wife wanted to see it. She likes the music. I loved Michael Jackson as a kid.
It was so ubiquitous.
Yeah.
It was everywhere. I remember being at a pool when I was probably 5, and the radio was on, and every third song was Michael Jackson.
It was really interesting because obviously, a whole lot of shit, a whole lot of allegations, a whole lot of rumors, a whole lot of, and I believe in many cases where there's smoke, there's fire.
Right.
But I think because of that ubiquitousness, because it was a pre-social media age, I think that that dude was a gold mine to everybody around him, including the people that wrote about him.
His whole family was. They slobbered all over every member of that family for, I don't know, 40, 50 years.
And I also think that I looked into it, because I was trying to get out of going to see this movie. So I was trying to make the moral choice, but I looked into it and I'm like, okay, well, they never actually found evidence of any of the shit that he was accused of. The first person that accused him of shit, that whole story is crazy because his father put him up to it.
Yeah.
I
remember learning about that.
He wound up the kid actually wound up killing himself 2 weeks after Michael Jackson died. So I think that he was an incredibly damaged, fucked up drug addict who made a lot of horrible fucking choices and is probably one of those the road to hell paved with good intention things.
Yeah.
But the weird thing to me was apparently the story of the making of this movie, they had to either rewrite or reshoot the entire back third, ending third, because
I heard about that.
They were supposed to start the movie with him actually the cops showing up to arrest him after the first allegations dropped.
Well, I thought it was anything bad about his history. They were supposed to leave all that stuff out.
Well, I was I read somewhere that supposedly the movie was supposed to start with his arrest and go to that point, but they're legally not allowed to talk about the first trial because they agreed to some sort of hush thing, so they couldn't do the movie they initially wanted to do.
So did they use the music? They had to, right?
Yeah, all the music, the actual musical numbers and sequences are really good. But
it was the actual Michael Jackson music.
It was yeah.
So that's a lever that the estate would have had in controlling Final Cut of the movie.
Also, 3 of the Jacksons just don't exist according to this movie.
Yeah.
Janet and 2 of the brothers are nowhere in it.
Yep.
And so it's it's been interesting to see, because this is one of the biggest discrepancies between audience reaction and critic reaction is this movie. Audiences fucking love it and critics are this is dog shit. And I think I'm somewhere in the middle because I think if anybody actually wants to go to see a movie about anything potentially real, I don't think there's any of it in this movie. Because there's so much involvement with the Jackson family that I'm sure all want themselves to come out looking great.
Yeah, there's no. I don't see the point in the movie itself.
Yeah.
People are going to love it if they've dedicated their big part of their lives to loving it, and it's I wouldn't take that away from them.
I think what can be said is like the performance from fucking Michael. What's the I know it's a nephew, right? Jafar.
Paid no attention.
Jafar Jackson is, I think that's Jermaine's son. So yeah, Michael Jackson was his uncle. I think Jafar Jackson is Jermaine Jackson's kid. So another reason that I saw here that one of the Jackson brothers may not have been involved in the making of the movie. It's apparently like the youngest Jackson son was married to this woman. They got divorced, and Jermaine secretly married his brother's ex-wife in secret. So one of the Jacksons is probably not in the movie because his brother married his ex-wife secretly. And so they're like, that whole family is so fucked that like when you watch this movie, you're like, this is 99% bullshit. Like, for the most part, everybody gets along. The dad is obviously a big, horrible monster and literally looks like a Disney villain in the film. It's probably mostly bullshit, but it can be said that like the actual like sequences and like Jafar's performance are really good. But also, it's just like there's this crazy fucking like person, and they never at any point acknowledge how crazy it is. And that's, I think, the thing that makes this movie so weird is Michael Jackson was a fucking wacko. Like everything about him was weird as hell. And this movie kind of just tries to like show him as a normal dude.
Sure. I think he had sort of an arrested development.
Yeah.
Once you get a certain amount of money, you don't have to.
Right.
There are no consequences, and you don't have to behave a certain way, so you stop learning.
Yeah. Yeah.
We see that with every billionaire, every millionaire.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks weird to the outside world, and it's good for papers and tabloids and shit.
But I think like in sort of revisiting this, just like sort of in my head, because it's been a very long time since Michael Jackson had any real estate in my brain. I think that like I don't think we're ever going to get like a real like look into this person, but I think that like the sheer amount of attention that was paid to him, and and the sheer amount of money that was not even like money that he was making or that he was spending, but like the economy of Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
People being offered money for interviews, like even his own fucking sister, like his sister initially, when the first allegations came out, were like, no, he could never do that. And then a few months later it was like, oh yeah, he probably did that. And then like not long after that was like, her husband forced her to say that because her husband was a crazy person. And like there was everybody, he was a payday to basically anybody around him.
Yeah, that's a good point. There was definitely a secondary economy built around just the legend.
And this movie covers none of that. Like
it's not critical.
Nothing
whatsoever.
Interesting.
No.
I think this movie answers zero questions.
I don't think it is.
It's pretty to look at, and the performances are fairly decent, but
now you won't get the real thing for like another 15 years,
right,
when most of the family's gone.
Yeah.
And then the people who can sue or can no longer sue.
Yeah. But it ends, the movie ends in 1988, and there's so much like, I think
early.
That there is the potential for there to be more movies coming.
Oh, Jesus.
Because it's
how much
there's
so much more stuff for them to gloss over and not include.
Exactly. Exactly. But it was, I don't know. It was an interesting experience because it was like it's it's shiny and it's pretty and the music is good. And that's about it.
Speaking of the secondary economy on him, like I'm betting the movie is doing gangbusters.
Oh God, yeah. I'm sure.
So like, yeah, there's a. Do you remember Quiz Show? Do you ever watch the movie?
Yeah.
Remember the end of it, at the trial?
No, not really.
So
I remember the premise.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time that nobody ever really pays attention to. But at the very end, there's a trial. They go to Congress, and they're trying to figure out, was there a law broken by giving one person the answers or not? And the lawyer's defense was, basically, why am I here? Everyone was entertained. Everyone made money. Everyone's happy. Why does television have to be play by rules? And then that's kind of like the point of the movie. And like that's kind of where things have been since then, ever since basically, like at the end of Edward R. Murrow and the ideal that the truth was in there somewhere.
Right.
But it stopped being about the truth and only became about the money. Were people entertained? Were tickets sold? Was airtime used? Yeah. So that's how I see this Michael.
Yeah.
It's just another cash grab for quite a lot of people.
And speaking of that, it is apparently global cumulative. It's at about $703 million right now.
Yeah, not surprised. His brand was big all over the globe.
Yeah.
Wasn't he with like Coke?
Pepsi. And that's actually like, so one of the things I always remember.
Your propaganda didn't work. I said the wrong name.
Well, I remember it was interesting because like in the mid 80s, like he basically got forced into doing a commercial for Pepsi, and that's when his hair caught fire.
Oh, okay.
What I never realized was how bad that actually was, because apparently that's what started the addiction.
Yeah, he had actually 3rd-degree burns.
And had multiple scalp surgeries.
Yeah.
And, there's just tons and tons of nerve endings up there. So, he was just doing a whole bunch of drugs, and I don't think it ever stopped.
No.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the story.
But, yeah, it was interesting. Like, my mom really liked Michael Jackson. Like, she wants to go see it. And it's just like, it kind of, it is what it is, but it's such a weird thing to just like, here is somebody who is for decades been the topic of like so much conversation and so much speculation and like all of this stuff. And here is a movie that addresses absolutely none of it, but like audiences apparently just like love. Let's see. I remember when it was like when Rotten Tomatoes, when it first came out, like I'm curious what the
People?
difference
Critics?
between like critics and people is at now.
Sure.
I literally just went to Rotten Tomatoes and typed in the word movie.
You're going to be here a while.
Yeah. So for fuck's sake, enable ads. Fuck you, Rotten Tomatoes. Just let me see the shit. Oh my God. Let me look this up in something that isn't going to demand that I log in. Okay, so critics have it at 39% currently. Audience, it's still at 97%, which is crazy to me. Like,
yeah.
But I think, it was like when we left the theater, it's obviously people that kind of love it, because it was like when we got out, there were like multiple cars in the parking lot, and as soon as they got out and were leaving, like you could hear Michael Jackson coming from the cars. It's just a complete nostalgia play.
Yeah.
But it was, I think, kind of hoping for something that went slightly underneath the surface, and this absolutely did not.
I think I have something that'll scratch that itch for you.
Okay.
I don't remember if you were here when I was talking about it, but the Corey Feldman documentary.
Yes, I Yes, I remember when you were talking about it, and I've heard a little bit about it since. I've not watched it. I think I watched the trailer.
I can tell you that Michael Jackson is involved.
Interesting.
He's not in it. But, you know, Corey Feldman used to hang out
Yes.
with them, just like what Macaulay Culkin
Yeah,
did, you
yeah.
know, and stuff like that. And he talks about it. And it's probably the only open and true thing he says during the whole documentary. It is a strange look into an overly controlling person.
Interesting.
And it's bizarre because he started the documentary himself. He wanted
Right.
he wanted
Right.
it as a puff piece about himself.
Yeah.
And there's moments in it where he starts to do the wrong thing, and he looks at the camera and goes to cut it off, and it goes black, you know, and you're like, oh shit, he's a fucking monster.
Yeah. That's fucking...
And
yeah,
then-
I'm going to have to check that out.
And then I've read subsequent articles about, because he basically started a cult. The four women.
I remember the whole
band was,
Corey's Angels era.
the band was an excuse to have
Yeah.
a polyamorous relationship with underage, or not underage, but like very young girls.
Yeah.
Or very young women. And then since then, they've come out and they've all been like, yeah, it was a fucking cult. It was all.
It felt very Charlie Sheen, like that same kind of,
Yeah.
you know, during that Charlie Sheen era where he was like living with multiple porn stars and that he was all supposedly dating and like live streaming his life and shit like that.
Yeah. I do wonder, I don't know if he was being a manipulative bastard the way
Right.
Feldman was, but it's a great documentary. I highly recommend it. It's they recorded some of the stuff when they brought the shows through here, which is why I watched it, because I wanted to see Petaluma in it. But it's funny to think that they were having this argument on their bus like 3 blocks from my house when they were here, and it's like I knew they were coming, and I wanted to go to the show and like see this train wreck.
Yeah.
He cannot sing. He cannot perform. He's not a
Well,
rock star or a singer or anything.
Well, I remember like he just also recently, I think around the same time as the documentary was coming out, he was like on tour with Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, I mean he's trying to get in any way he can. He's like really grasping for any kind of relevance. But
It's just it's interesting because it's like one thing I find so interesting about just like Hollywood and movies and all that shit in general is just the sheer number of people that do it until they're dead. And I think that like, it just seems that it's, I don't know if it's the like desire for relevance, the desire for money, the desire for influence or what it is, but it's like so many people, it's like, I can't think of many actors who just decide one day I'm done and then just like are finished with it. I mean, like Pacino's still fucking acting in like his late 80s.
He doesn't know where he is.
Married to like a 30-something-year-old woman or whatever the fuck it is. Like,
yeah, I saw an interview with him. He's not there anymore. He's gone.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's just like they
someone
so desperate to cling on to it.
Someone fed him some sugar pills and shoved him in front of a camera.
Yeah,
it's like, let's see how this goes.
Say hooah again. Hooah. That's all we need. You know, but it seems like the only people that kind of like just are like gracefully exit are those who get into it super young and decide, no, I don't want to have anything to do with this.
Yeah.
But
well, I can think of there's a few, and they are my heroes. One of them is Carrie-Anne Moss.
Okay.
Like, you know, you think after the Matrix movies, she would have just kept going and going, but she decided she had enough.
Yeah.
She wanted to go start her family and raise her family, and she did. And like when they came back to do the last Matrix, she said, I lived my life. I'm happy. It's like, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
That's what I want for the people in the industry, just not like be on that train their entire fucking life.
Yeah. I mean, and like, you know, I'm glad I didn't have to watch the horrible gradual decline of Dennis Hopper. Like, I'm glad he didn't go all the way until the very end.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, because there are, I don't know. It's just like how many more shitty comedies do we need to watch like Robert De Niro or Harrison Ford do? You know, it's just like
there's this great one that Gary Busey just made. I'll find it and send it to you. It's from like 15 years ago.
Interesting.
Wow, what a speaking of train wrecks.
The one thing that I didn't watch this, but I read I started falling down the Randy Quaid rabbit hole recently as well. And I read an interview that they did. I want to say it was with Variety. And it was an interview that him and his wife did while they were on the run. I think they
went to Argentina or something, didn't they? Like fled, like
they were in Canada for a while. They were going somewhere else. They were trying to figure out how to drive to Siberia, I think, at one point. But like, it seems so. It's like, I don't think there's any actual evidence of the drug abuse, but it's the most methamphetamine fueled story I think I've ever fucking read. Like, so much insane paranoia.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's fucking weird, man. Like, it is so odd. Like, just how somebody can go from like, and actually pretty, early in his career, Randy Quaid was actually really fucking good, and actually
he was awesome. Yeah. He's there's The Wraith. Did you ever see The Wraith?
Oh, I don't know.
We covered that on here, and it like really surprised people because he plays like a backwater cop,
right?
But he's like really acting in it. He's not funny, and he's not from National Lampoons or anything. He's like, doing a real job, and he's done real jobs. He's done real acting gigs. He's in Parents. You ever see Parents?
Oh, I think so.
That's the one I'm trying to not make everyone watch.
Yes,
I think we're going to watch it eventually.
I think I did.
That's a fucking horror movie. Yeah. And he's in it. And he's fucking awesome in it. And and then Independence Day.
Yeah,
that was probably his biggest like thing that shot him up in the later part of his career. And then when it was even before COVID, they went crazy, right? It was like,
I think so.
It was before.
I'm trying to see what the name of this was. I know one of them was like the Quaid. One of them was, I think, called the Quaid Conspiracy. Was the article that I think I read.
Okay.
And conspiracy. Oh, it's Vanity Fair. Sorry. And you can actually find it in their archive. But I think they started going. I think it was pre-COVID. He was doing a stage play, and it just all went fucking crazy. Like, he started being like verbally abusive to people. His like girlfriend was like was kind of acting for him or like acting kind of as his like spokesperson.
Ew, weird.
Evie Quaid. But yeah, it's really strange. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, it's a Quaid Conspiracy. You can find it on Vanity Fair. It is a very interesting read, and there's no end to it.
Yes, no explanation, no.
And according to this, it was written in January 2011. No fucking way has he been crazy for 15 years already.
I remember it starting early. Like, I remember he was already getting written off of serious, consideration for things.
I only remember him because he kind of started. He was very pro-Trump. So
yeah,
I only started becoming aware.
That's when he came back in the light there.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, it was. He's always. I don't know. I remember it happening a long time ago.
I had no idea what was going on for so long, but yeah, really fucking weird. Really fucking weird.
Yeah, just tragic, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think I've just been rewatching The Venture Brothers. I've been stuck. Been trying to write a script of my own for months now, and I'm almost afraid to sit down and write because I don't have anything. I don't have any inspiration or I don't know. I've always loved the Venture Brothers because all their superheroes and villains are basically just puns of either villains or other, colloquialisms, and they're so inventive. And I just want to. Maybe I should just write something absurd.
You can never go wrong with absurd.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been wanting to get back into it again, just reading and writing, honestly. It's like I'm trying to be kinder to my brain.
Yeah.
And I think one thing I discovered actually just this past week, my doctor told me I have something called nocturnal, not emissions.
I wasn't going there.
Myoclonus. So it's essentially very similar to what causes sleep paralysis, except that's like your brain sort of going haywire when it's trying to transition from being asleep to being awake.
Sure.
I have the opposite, where it's like while I'm trying to fall asleep, like my brain starts kind of glitching every once in a while. And it used to be that I would just like kind of have these like spasms and shit or like jerk. That's now been combined with I describe it like microphone feedback. It's like a shrieking sensation that like travels through my brain. Although there's actually like no actual noise. There's the perception of it.
Sure.
And I've been trying, it's like, one thing that's been suggested is try to gradually go from wake to sleep over a longer period of time in hopes that maybe that'll like help that from happening as often.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, they don't really know what causes it. And, there's not really anything people can do to treat it. And it's some people just kind of get driven insane by it. So if it gets worse, let us know. I'm like, fucking great. Thank you.
Yeah.
But and then they're like, it's entirely possible that it may just go away on its own. But I'm trying to like, be a little nicer to my brain and stop feeding it like horrible shit until 20 seconds before I try to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So I figured reading and writing would probably be good uses of that time. So.
Yep.
Gary Busey was in a TV show called Gary Busey Pet Judge.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The movie I was thinking of, see if I can find it. He plays a man who dies and goes to heaven.
Interesting.
And comes back. And he can communicate with dogs.
Oh my God.
And like I've seen behind the scenes of the movie, and it's him trying to convince the people on set, I can really talk to dogs. And then there's this other thing where he does random TikToks.
Really?
And it's Gary Busey, no makeup, just those giant fucking teeth. It looks like a skeleton chattering at you, and the wide eyes he doesn't realize that they're that wide, but that's the wideness of insanity. Mm-hmm. And then he's talking to you about absolute gibberish. That's the stuff of nightmares.
His son has those fucking eyes too.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember him from
Jake's had a much better life, I think.
Yeah. I think I remember him the most from The Rock though.
Yep.
Jake Busey.
I think it's called Holy Cash.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's so bad. But he's in some of my favorite fucking movies. Mm-hmm. The Firm, Point Break. He plays the bounty hunter in the Firm. He gets shot.
Oh, that's right.
And then Holly Hunter's secretary. And then not bounty hunter, PI, but
right.
Just another tragic downfall.
Well, so everybody just kind of chalked him up to being kind of crazy, but he
had a motorcycle accident in 1988.
Oh, that's right.
Which made him more crazy. Because before that, he was kind of wild, like Big Wednesday. If you ever watched that, he's cast as this crazy person, but he's not really doing a good job.
Right.
He's just kind of like weird.
Interesting.
But he's supposed to be wild and like flamboyant, and
That happened. I knew this kid in high school. He was really, really, really smart. He wound up being the valedictorian. And one of my really good friends was dating him. He got in a really bad car accident. He was gone for probably like most of a year and came back, and his personality was completely 180 degrees different.
yeah,
Like he went from like kind of quiet, nerdy kid to like really like super like extroverted, like making tons of jokes and shit. Like still really smart, but completely different personality. And that is always just like, that's fucking terrifying.
yeah.
like-
That's brain damage.
Yeah. And on that wonderful.
Yeah, let's go ahead and we can wrap it up there. This has been the Epilogue.